Well, AJ, speaking of naughtiness, I got an article about 12 naughty place names from all across America. So these are basically just a collection of towns and cities with weird names. Number
Okay.
one, Ball Play, Alabama. Do you like playing with balls, either yours or someone else's? That's what Ball Play, Alabama got its name from, although the balls weren't some dude's pendulous parts. Instead, the roughly 1,500 resident town is named after ancient sports matches. Ball play was founded in the early 19th century near a spot where Native Americans would reportedly gather to play stickball to resolve intertribal conflicts without resorting to warfare. Number two, speaking of balls, Blue Ball, Pennsylvania. You might think giggling at Blue Ball's name is a recent phenomenon, but it's really a long running tradition. People were laughing at the place already in 1916. The name stems from the Blue Ball Hotel that was founded here more than 200 years ago, before any actual town existed. Eventually, a small village grew around the hotel, and its name transferred to the newly established town. By the way, the Blue Ball Motel, I think, is where that guy that beats off for 10 hours goes to.
Yeah, why'd they call the hotel Blue Ball? Like,
That's true. It's like, oh, it stems from this old hotel, but it's like, yeah, okay, well, but where did that get its name from? You know what I mean?
yeah, it's a hotel. People are supposed to get laid there, man.
That's true. Who wants to go to a hotel called the Blue Ball Hotel?
Right.
Like, uh, well, number three is a place everybody wants to go, Buttsville, New Jersey. The name of Buttsville, New Jersey, commemorates the proud legacy of its founder, Michael Robert Butts, because he is what you think when you hear the name, right? He really should have gone with Mikestown or something else. But at least his decision to honor his family name put this hamlet with 200 residents on the map. In Montana, we of course have Butte, Montana, which everyone wants to call Butte, Montana.
Is there really a team called the Butte Pirates? Is that a real thing?
I don't think so, but it would be fantastic if there was. Number four, Climax, Georgia. This town isn't named after that kind of climax. Instead, its name stems from the fact that the highest point of the railroad between Savannah and the Chattahoochee River is near the place.
Chattahoochee. Mm.
That's a good name too. So the town is near the climax of the railroad. Number five, Colon, Nebraska. Colon, Nebraska didn't get its name by accident. It was purposefully named Colon in 1886 by its first postmaster, who hailed from Colon, Michigan. And why is that place called Colon? Well, we couldn't find out. Maybe it's a reference to the place being in the ass end of nowhere. Fun fact, Colon is 7 miles away from Saunders County seat, which is called Wahoo. Isn't there Cologne, Germany as well?
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know if they spell it the same way, but like if I was this town, I'd be like, it's not it's not Colon, it's Cologne. Number six, Hooker, Oklahoma.
Oh boy.
There's a local saying in Hooker, Oklahoma. It's a location, not a vocation. The town is named after cattle rancher John Hooker Threkheld, who was a famed cowboy in the area. He got his nickname for being unmatched at roping cows with a lasso. It was a different time. It seems like a lot of these places are just named after people with bad names.
Yeah, maybe they were trying to like change the like connotation, of like what their names, are. Like, let's change Hooker into a good thing,
Number seven is a place I've heard about because it's been used in jokes before. Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Intercourse is a respectable town in Pennsylvania's Amish country. Kind of ironic that it's an Amish country.
Yeah, that's true.
So how did it come that it has a name like that? No one's quite sure, but one theory says intercourse once meant fellowship or camaraderie. Weirdly enough, the place was called Cross Keys until 1814, when its name was changed to Intercourse. If only they'd known at the time. Number eight, PP Township, Ohio.
What? No.
We admit we're children, but we just can't stop giggling at the name PP Township. It's named after PP Creek, which flows through Pike County, Ohio. The creek in turn got its name from an early settler who carved his initials PP on a tree that used to grow on the stream.
Really? That's what they named it after? Oh my gosh.
Whether he went PP in the creek has been lost to history. You don't want to go swimming in PP Creek.
One guy carves PP into a tree, and everybody's like, well, that's the name. That's what we're going with now.
It'd be like a historian's like, enough with this name. I did my homework, and this guy's name was like Peter Pussy. We're changing the name.
I mean, God forbid somebody go carve some like Dongschlinger into a tree now. Who knows?
I discovered this country. Number 9, Rough and Ready, California. They're rough, they're ready, they're named after U.S. General and America's 12th president, Zachary Taylor. Taylor, known as a fearless and hardworking military man, received the nickname Old Rough and Ready for his tough attitude. This town got its name from the Rough and Ready mining company that was named in honor of President Taylor. Wasn't
maybe the Rough Riders?
Yeah, the Rough Riders.
I think that was Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah,
the
Rough Riders.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody back there, rough riding. Number 10, Spread Eagle, Wisconsin.
Oh, man.
We know what you're thinking, but Spread Eagle got its name from a geographical feature. The town is located by a series of lakes. If you look at the area from the air, the lakes kind of sort of look like an eagle spreading its wings, instead of something else being spread. I mean, fair enough, but couldn't they have called it like Eagle Lake, Wisconsin, or something?
Yeah, something.
Number 11, this one was actually founded by Mel Gibson. Sugartit, Kentucky. Sugartit was once known as Pleasant Ridge, which later became Gunpowder. Those were much better names, but after the tiny hamlet became more or less integrated into Florence, Kentucky, the name Sugartit remained. According to stories, the name comes from local men going into town in winter to have a few shots of whiskey to warm themselves up. If they ended up missing dinner, their wives would know that they'd been out sucking a sugar tit, which is what they called pacifiers at the time.
What? The pacifiers cover up their breath or something?
Yeah, I don't really understand that either. Man, some of this like old West jargon, you're like, yeah. I don't even know how they came to be.
No.
Maybe they're like, maybe it was like, baby need his bottle like of alcohol or something. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Number 12. This is the last one. Tight Squeeze, Virginia. Oh. It's funny that it was in Virginia. There's actually quite an interesting story behind Tight Squeeze's name. In 1870, shopkeeper W.H. Colbert built his general store right by the road so that women would be able to step right in out of their carriages without dirtying themselves on the muddy road. Sometime later, a blacksmith built his shop opposite Colbert's store, also right by the road. The two buildings were so close to each other that wagons had to slow down to be able to squeeze by. The place name was at one point in time officially changed to Fairview. Locals protested so much, however, that authorities reverted their decision, keeping the Tight Squeeze name to this day. I wonder if those buildings are still there.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
You know what? I'm surprised they don't have on here. I remember seeing in an episode of like Jackass, or maybe it was one of the Jackass movies. It was like a town called Mianus, Connecticut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they had this running joke of like, oh, look, he's peeing in my anus. And they just had like a bunch of these different things. So like, I was kind of surprised that one didn't make the list. But alas.
Maybe next time.